I'll be damned if I let some flu stop me from toy hunting. He's right behind me, isn't he? Hi.
Hello.
Hey everybody, Greco Fabulous here. Next to me, Donnie Wahlberg, as some of you have noticed. We just did a 60-mile trip. Hopefully it's worth it. We're literally, I was gonna say inches, but probably several feet away if I get my distance right, from our end game here. This is the guy that I bought the Shogun Warriors from not that long ago, but he has a lot more. And we're hoping that by the end of this, we'll have a lot more. But we really have no idea what we're walking into in terms of price range. We kind of danced around that. We don't really have any idea like how deep he's into it and what he's looking for. We know he's not a Transformers guy or a toy guy. He's a comic guy, so hopefully Tim here can sweet talk him with some comic talk.
Who came up with the Silver Surfer? Duh, Jack Kirby, king of comics. Who are the lizard men on Land of the Lost? Everyone knows that, you idiot. The Slee Stack. Name 3 kinds of kryptonite. Green, red, and gold.
But our pockets are aligned as much as they can be for us.
I got mine in my boot.
Yeah. This guy is a martial arts instructor, so we gotta play this right.
I'm scared.
All right. So wish us luck. Bye.
We'll get it.
So unfortunately, I don't have any live footage that I can share with you guys, just because I didn't want to do anything weird that could potentially jeopardize this deal. Because even though we had our shared Shogun experience, we were still basically 2 strangers walking into his home. But once you see what we got, you'll completely understand why I erred on the side of caution. So, what I can share with you is our reaction immediately afterwards, show you what we got, and then tell you how it all broke down, including price. And hopefully at this point, you guys all know that I'm not one of those collectors that is full of malacca. Everything I tell you is true, and not just for views. Cause Lord knows I don't get any of those. Eating a gas station wrap. Cranberry, walnut, white chicken salad. What could go wrong?
My house is full of shit! He's shit everywhere! Look what he did! He shit all over the wall!
Just want to say that how happy I am that we got the deal done.
Got it done.
I think we did.
Head northwest.
Okay, GPS, I'll head northwest when I'm damn well ready. I think that went really well.
I think it went well.
Yeah.
I think we made out pretty good. We had a lot of neat stuff. A lot of Transformers.
And it sounds like we might have another point of contact up in the great state of New Hampshire.
It's a good contact to have. We haven't been in this area very much.
No, and it's good to cast a wide net, kind of have your little your network, have people looking for you, looking out for other people. That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Collecting karma. I'm gonna shove that down your throats. Alright, so I'm going to combine show and tell with story time because I realize that even I want me to get to the point. So enjoy this mixed bag of footage and photos from this haul, and unfortunately there might be a situation where I don't have everything fully documented. It was one of those things where we were running up on a toy show and we knew that we had some items we wanted to bring to it, so we might not have done the due diligence and captured everything before it went out the door. So you're just going to have to trust me. Now typically, do you have anything else is my catchphrase, but in this case the seller beat me to the punch and casually mentioned that he might have had some Transformers and Masters of the Universe laying around. Just a few. And that turned into a nice 60-mile trek up to his house in New Hampshire. Now when we got there, none of the stuff was organized because, as I mentioned, he was not a toy guy at all, so he didn't know what he was looking at. And that was one of the perks that I offered to him as a potential buyer. I was like, listen, hey, me and my buddy, we love digging through this stuff. This is our pride and joy, our bread and butter. We would be honored if we could just dig through this stuff for you, organize it. Worst case, we'll have it all organized for you. You'll get some information. Best case, we're walking out the door with it. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. How long do you think it'll take? Because I got to be somewhere at 11. Is 3 hours enough time? And I was like, 3 hours? Oh my God, I hope we're not there that long. And that's literally, we might have been 15 minutes shy of 3 hours by the end of it. There was just so much stuff to go through and pair up. We got to the point where we almost had everything paired up, but there was still a box of accessories where, you know, nothing was jogging our memory, and it wasn't really worth digging through the Transformers handbook. Not to mention that he had plenty of non-Transformers items as well. I mean, we had Masters of the Universe, some Shogun Warrior models, which I didn't know existed, Star Wars, Gobots, and other random robots from the 80s. You know, lots and lots of good stuff. And when it came time for the negotiation, he pretty much led off with, well, what do you guys think it's worth? Now, normally that would raise a lot of alarm bells because you don't want to give, you know, you want to be fair with the buyer and honest. You don't want to give him high-end retail prices because then when you come in with your offer, he's going to think you're totally lowballing him. Plus, to be honest, there was a lot in there that we didn't know that much about. So when we were calculating our ranges at the time, there was a few unknown figures to us. There was one big one that we didn't really know the value of. And it seemed like a decent amount of them weren't complete. So we took that into consideration and we were like, hey, we think, you know, from what we're seeing here, we think this lot is worth somewhere between $1,800 and $2,200 comfortably. You know, obviously you can aim higher, but you might have to sit on it for a while or really, you know, do some hardcore pushing to get that higher price. And we were upfront with him. We're like, you know, for anything that we're going to resell, we don't ask for retail, so automatically our profit margin is much lower than what a store might be. Also, we're buying it as a lot, so you got to take that into consideration. We're not, you know, we're not going to look at this as individual figures. We're giving you the benefit of a bulk sale. So at that point, the seller just asked us to throw out a number, and honestly, that's one of the toughest things to do because it can pretty much make or break a negotiation. I mean, we just told the guy that we thought the lot was worth like $2,200 comfortably, but obviously we don't want to pay anywhere near that. So, you know, there was a long pause, a long pregnant pause, and finally my buddy was like, just to kick things off, throw out any number. You know, I think he threw out like $750. Obviously, I knew that wasn't going to get the deal done. You know, you're not going to come out with your best and brightest right off the bat. I believe the seller countered at something like $1,300, and we're like, you know, we don't want to do that either. So eventually the seller came down and said, all right, bottom line, take it all, $1,000. Again, we had no idea how much he was into this or what he was expecting. So, you know, it was one of those comedic moments where we're opening up our wallets, like, you know, dumping out our pockets. We literally have $965 on cash on us. And he was like, all right, I'll take it. So we got everything you saw here and maybe some things you didn't see for $965 total. Now, when we brought this home and actually got time to go through it all comfortably, this ended up being a way better deal than we thought. First off, we thought that almost half of the box Transformers were missing pieces. This was not the case. Most of the figures in this lot were 100% complete. And secondly, there were some pretty valuable items in there that honestly we didn't know too much about. So when we were doing the overall valuation of him to start off, we might have come up a little short. Like, for example, this red Diacron vehicle, Diaclone, precursor to Transformers. This mold obviously became Sunstreaker. Believe I sold that for over $150 on eBay on its own. And then the king of the castle for this lot was this Piranacon gift set, which apparently is super rare. Obviously, as Transformers collectors, my buddy and I would never entertain the idea of selling this, at least right off the bat. But at least according to Mark Bellamo, this thing is worth like $450. And that might be on the low end because apparently it's really hard to find. So admittedly, I was feeling a little guilty after the fact, but you know, you kind of do what you can in the moment, you know, as far as like being fair to a seller from what you can see. You know, obviously everything wasn't, you know, laid out for us and organized, so you do the best you can in the moment. But I guess I shouldn't feel too guilty because in the long run, you know, we ended up at a price that the seller accepted. You know, we didn't have to kind of beat him over the head with it. And honestly, I think we're going to end up keeping a lot of this lot. So it's definitely not just a money-making scheme by any means.
If you can type with your fingers on a keyboard, you can make $500 today.
Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. Sorry about the shaky handheld camera and the terrible lighting. As you can see, I've been busy. Built a new shelf here, got rid of a dresser, total adult thing to do. Just so I can display more toys in the limited space that I have. And honestly, the rest of the room is in shambles. I got things in boxes, like, life is, oh, there's my jock strap. Anyways, to TMI for sure. But yeah, let me know how you think we did, you know, how you feel about, You know, I do have a little bit of a conscience. We'll see how it all shakes out. My buddy and I will be having a draft for a lot of this stuff. We will film it. They're not the most exciting things in the world, but we'll see how this all shakes out. And by the end of it, we'll see, you know, what we ended up keeping, what we ended up selling, and how it all broke out. We've been doing a lot better this year with keeping track of our spending and selling, just to see how we're doing on some of these lot purchases. So it's good to have the numbers to back it up. And for those of you that are interested in the kind of like the reselling side of things, or the you know, the mantra of, you know, having your collection pay for itself, I'll have the numbers to back it up. So a lot of interesting metrics there. Anyways, I'm gonna go try to put my life back together. Thanks for watching. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Bye.